Hello, and welcome to Getting Started with SharePoint 2010 training video. Today, we will introduce you to the Microsoft SharePoint 2010 collaboration platform. This platform was created by Microsoft to establish strong collaboration practices among users in small, medium, large corporations and government institutions such as HRSA. This platform brings a wide array of features, which will allow HRSA employees to communicate and exchange work documents much faster and more efficiently. To name just some of the widely used features of Microsoft SharePoint are document libraries to store and edit the work files, calendars to contain all of the office or bureau meeting information, and wiki pages to store standard operating procedures and other useful knowledge. Additional features include lists to contain information for tracking and auditing purposes, and even surveys to be sent out and analyzed once completed. These are just some of the great features Microsoft SharePoint has to offer to improve your daily work. Functionally, SharePoint is structured around sites. At the top, you will see what we call a top-level site, and below it are subsites similar to HRSA organizational structure. For example, top-level site is designed for Office of Operations. Since Office of Operations is not the only office at HRSA, there are many subsites. Each subsite is built for the corresponding division or branch. As you can notice, we have a site for the Office of Regional Operations, BIPIC, BHW, and so on. This is a simplified version of SharePoint's site structure, since we have recently transcended about 1,000 subsites. Employees are working in each of the office and bureau will go to their respective site to perform their daily duties. Also, each one of these subsites will have at least 2 site administrators. Site administrators are members of your team and are responsible for maintaining the site, front page, and even adjust the permissions for particular items within the site if necessary. It is also important to note that each site is mutually exclusive. Most of the offices or bureaus here at HRSA perform their daily work inside of their team sites. These sites will usually have a blue color theme. However, some of the offices, such as Office of Operations, also perform a lot of public communications with other offices and bureaus within HRSA. In this case, Office of Operations has another site called an intranet site. This site is open for viewing the entire HRSA, but still cannot be accessed from the internet or other government branches. Intranet sites will usually have a green color theme to them. Please speak with your supervisor to gain an understanding of what sites are currently used within your office or bureau. Every SharePoint site has a front page. You can think of this page as a face for the site. When you are at the properly configured front page of the site, you will be easily able to navigate to the desired sub-areas of the site. The front page of the site consists of 3 main areas. The top area contains navigation and editing tools. The left area contains quick launch navigation bar. And the main area contains primary information of the site. Let's take a look at all of these areas in a little more detail. The top area is structured around ribbons. Each ribbon has a tab. When you click on the tab, you will display the appropriate ribbon associated with it. All of the options related to that ribbon will be contained within it. Please note that the ribbon can change the size of the options depending on the size and resolution of the screen. Some of the ribbons are contextual, which means they will appear only when you are located in an appropriate area suitable for them. For example, if I go to the document library, here Documents and Library tabs appear respectively. But when I navigate to the front page, these tabs disappear since I'm no longer located in the document library. Speaking of navigating, in the Browse tab, you will locate a breadcrumb trail. This trail allows you to see where you're currently located and will allow you to navigate back to the home page of the site. For example, right now it tells me that I'm located in the site called Training and at the home page of the site. However, when I click on the document library, now it tells me that I'm located in the Shared Documents library under the Training site. If I click on Training, I will go back to the main page of the site. There is another tool that will help you navigate SharePoint sites. It's called Navigate Up function, and it looks like a yellow folder with a green arrow pointing up. When you click it, you will see a hierarchy similar to a folder and subfolder structure. Clicking on any level in this structure will bring you to it. The difference between Navigate Up and Breadcrumb Trail is that Breadcrumb Trail may not always be directly available if you choose any other ribbon except Browse. However, Navigate Up is always in the same location, regardless of which ribbon you have selected. In addition to using a breadcrumb trail, you will be able to search a SharePoint site. Just simply click in the search area and type the name of the object you're looking for. For example, if I type in the word welcome and click on the magnifying glass, the SharePoint will provide you with a list of results. The icons to the left will identify the type of object the system has located, and the text below the name will give you an idea of a context where it found the search word. This way, you may identify if the result is what you're looking for without having to click on it. I will use a breadcrumb trail to get back to the front page of the site. On the left side of the home page, you will locate a Quick Launch toolbar. The purpose of this toolbar is to show the contents of the site. Think of it as a table of contents in a book or a file. Quick Launch toolbar consists of categories which are blue and large, and individual members of these categories which are black and small. Please note, the contents of the Quick Launch toolbar are controlled and adjusted by your SharePoint site administrators. Since not everything the SharePoint site contains may be displayed in a Quick Launch toolbar, at the bottom you have a feature called All Site Content. If you click on it, you will see the full contents of the site with the exception of areas you are not allowed to see due to the permission settings. In addition, you will have a Recycle Bin feature. Whatever you delete will go to your SharePoint recycle bin. Please note that the items deleted and placed in a recycle bin will be there only for 30 days. After that, they will be automatically deleted. If you wish to restore the items deleted from your recycle bin, you will need to put in a ticket through the NIH portal. To restore an item, simply checkmark it to the left and then click Restore Selection option. But before you do that, be mindful of the location where the item was originally, since it will disappear from the recycle bin after restoration is complete, and it will go to your original location. Alternatively, you will also be able to delete the items permanently yourself by checkmarking it to the left and clicking Delete Selection option. The main section of the front page is usually the most diverse since it is the most changeable. It consists of three types of items. First is the text. Your SharePoint site administrator can put in a welcome text on the top, middle, or the bottom of the page if necessary. The text is used for many purposes, such as a welcome message or identification of additional front page items. Second item type is a picture. The picture you see here is the default, but it can be changed. Some of the ways pictures are used here at HRSA are pictures of the office or bureau, executive officer, or even the office or bureau logo, if one exists. You can also decide not to put a picture at all. The third type of item is called web part. You can think of web parts for SharePoint as apps for the iPhone or BlackBerry. They are little pieces of software which enhance the look and functionality of the front page and are individually adjustable. For example, here is the web part for Shared Documents Library. Many people may think that this is the library itself, but it is a web part displaying the contents of the library on the front page for your convenience. I can open, edit, and delete the files in the library through this web part, or even add new files. Since these web parts can be moved, added, and deleted, the center of the front page may differ drastically from one site to another. Your SharePoint site administrators are your first line of defense when it comes to any SharePoint-related questions. However, if your SharePoint site administrator is not available, you can submit an OIT helpdesk ticket. We will show you the link to submit a ticket at the end of this training video. There are 3 SharePoint 2010 guidelines we would like you to follow when you start working with SharePoint. First, try not to double-click on items in SharePoint to select them. Since most of the items in SharePoint are hyperlinks, just like browsing the internet, you single left-click on the items you interact with. If you accidentally double-click on an item, chances are it won't do much harm, but you do want to avoid making it a habit. Second guideline is try not to right-click when you work with SharePoint. Right-clicking on an item in SharePoint brings out features associated with the web page displayed and not the item you right-clicked on. Instead of right-clicking, you can hover over the item and left-click on a drop-down arrow to reveal the options for this item. Finally, if you have to use the back button in Internet Explorer, must refresh the page by pressing the F5 on top of your keyboard or the circled arrow at the top of your Internet Explorer browser. We here at HRSA want you to be as comfortable as possible with MS SharePoint platform. That is why we've created numerous help resources to support you if you have questions or need some help. The first resource area we would like to discuss is the SharePoint 2010 resource page. No matter where you're located in the SharePoint environment, you will always see the SharePoint Resource Center link in the top center of the page. By clicking on this link, you will be transferred to the robust environment, which is divided into 3 main categories. Each one of these categories will contain a series of links to the training videos for that specific subject. This way, you can get a quick answer to your how-to questions. If you are not sure which category you belong to, just read the small description below each title. Underneath of the categories with videos, you will locate another useful hub of resources. This hub contains links designed to redirect you to the desired area, such as training manuals, SharePoint practice site, and even a link to the training portal, where you can sign up for classroom-led training courses. In addition to the SharePoint Resource Center, each SharePoint page will have a link to the IT Support Hub. When you click on it, you will be presented with the service list catalog on the left and the IT contact information on the right. By clicking on a specific category in the service catalog list, you'll be able to understand all of the different array of services offered by HRSA OIT. And you'll be able to request them if needed. If you're planning to become a local SharePoint administrator for your office or bureau, you can use this list to request assistance from the HRSA SharePoint team. This team consists of highly trained SharePoint professionals who will be glad to help out with any technical SharePoint questions or problems you or your team members might have. If you desire to put in a ticket for any IT-related issue, you can click on the picture with the Help Desk button, or just give them a call. If your computer becomes infected with a virus or malicious software, you can report a security incident by clicking on the Report Security Incident link. Additionally, you can request a loaner equipment for your conferences or a temporary laptop in an emergency situation. You can also request private training for your office or bureau. Our application consultant team consists of highly qualified trainers who will be more than glad to assist you with any private and custom classes needed. Finally, you can request additional support for Section 508 services for colleagues with disabilities. Contact Security Office for non-emergency consultation. Find information for any specific individuals in HRSA OIT office, and enhance your telework experience with Telework Toolkit. Finally, we would like to take a moment to discuss the SharePoint Governance Plan. This plan outlines rules, behaviors, and best practices for using SharePoint at HRSA. So if you have a procedural question, such as can we store specific content on SharePoint or not, for example, you can look into this document for the answer. To access the SharePoint Governance Plan, click on the SharePoint Resource Center and scroll down to the bottom of the page to see the SharePoint Resources area. And finally, click on the SharePoint Governance Plan. This concludes our SharePoint 2010 introduction video. If you would like to learn more about SharePoint, please follow the URL to register for future instructor-led classes. Also, by going to the URL below, you can request for additional assistance. Thank you for watching, and please don't hesitate to contact us if you have any questions or comments.